This is Josh Belk with the Belk on Business podcast. Thank you for taking a few moments to listen in today. On today's podcast, we're going to pick up where we've left off the last couple weeks, talking about issues in your business from a CFO's perspective. Have the opportunity to be able to, within the firm environment and also external of the firm environment, be able to work with business owners as it relates to the finances in their business. Over the last couple of weeks, I've talked about, kind of run through the list of just different areas that I've seen as I've traveled and worked with different types of businesses. And just maybe different benefits that a CFO can provide, or a good finance person can provide, either in your business, or I think especially if you bring somebody in like a fractional CFO to take a look into your business to be able to help you in different areas. And some of the areas that we've noticed that there have been some issues are that of internal controls, mismatched accounting platform with the industry that particular business may be operating in, or the deliverables that the owner is looking for. Owners loose and not having any sort of good, strong controls that relates to their cash. So owners pulling a lot of cash out of their business, not handling equity well, not securing intellectual property, sloppy record keeping, just poor fiscal management, not being able to really work through revenue and profit projections, knowing when to hire. Or within their business where to cut cost. And those are the 9 different areas that we've talked about over the last couple weeks. On today's podcast, going to try to just kind of push through just the last 6 I have on this list and just kind of quickly run through this. This is not by any stretch of the imagination going into any depth. We could really probably take 1, 2, or 3 weeks on each of these and talk through each one of those. And we may do that at some point in the future. So today's podcast, the last 6 kind of areas that I've seen many, many times as I've gone through and worked with different businesses. First is knowing where to invest cash to increase revenue. Of course, every business has a desire to increase their revenue. Most businesses do have a desire to increase their revenue if they're really trying to grow or maybe even sustain their business. They're going to be trying to find ways to be able to increase revenue. To be able to do this, I just literally the last couple hours ago got off a kind of a weekly mastermind call in one of the groups that I'm in, and they were talking about cost per lead. And what does it cost for us to get a lead, to get somebody to want to do business with us or to consider doing business with us, and understanding what that is. And it's a kind of a recurring conversation I've heard over and over and over again. How do I know how much money do I need to invest to be able to get the phone to ring so I can increase my revenue? Kind of use an old analogy there as far as the phone ringing, but for somebody to reach out to us, to be able to, or us to get in contact with them, to be able to drive that revenue. Do I need to invest in infrastructure? Think about just very practical areas. Maybe it's investing in a new point of sale system. Think about when you go to your local store to purchase things. Imagine if that particular store was investing in infrastructure to get clients through quicker. In recent days, how many times have you pulled into a drive-through because of a shortage of individuals out there to be able to work or willing to work, and you pull into a quick service or fast food restaurant, and the line is just wrapped around the building, and you say, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna go home and make myself a sandwich. I'm not going to wait in this line. A lot of revenue being lost because they have not been able to invest in the infrastructure of that business to get people in there. Maybe it's an updated system or systems or processes that need to be put into place to be able to get the food out more quickly, for example, to be able to get the customers through more quickly. So maybe it's investing in infrastructure. Maybe it's investing in developing your people to increase their knowledge, to be able to know how to quickly identify a problem and solve a problem for a customer so you can service customers more efficiently. Maybe it's sales training to be able to when that person does reach out to you or they reach out to a prospect that they're able to get them to the close or to be able to get them to hand over their cash. Essentially, that's what all of us are in business to do is to monetize. That may not be the overall purpose, but it is definitely going to be part of that purpose of why we do what we do, and that is to bring dollars into the door so we can keep the doors open. So sales training in our people to know how to engage well and be able to problem solve and solve ultimately the pain point that we're trying to solve with our customers. So number one, where to invest cash to increase revenue. Secondly, what is the pathway to obtain more money to invest in growth and how much is needed? And you kind of know that a business is ready to scale at the point that where your operational costs are low, your sales are up, and you have a strong cash flow. If one of those three areas is missing, your business probably isn't ready to scale. Regardless of what opportunities that you may see out there, if you're not to the point to where you have the cash flow sufficient to be able to maintain where you're at, if you cannot control your operational cost, if your sales are stagnant or decreasing, then your business may not be ready to scale. But if you're at the point to where those are working for you, your operational costs are low, your sales are up, your cash flow is strong, and you're ready to scale, the question is, okay, then what? Many times businesses will look to business lines of credit. There's nothing wrong with that, to go through and to be able to work with your local bank and just to get that business line of credit to be able to invest in the business, pay that back over time. That's perfectly fine. That is one option. But there are other options out there. It may be going and connecting with an equity investor or maybe getting some venture capital money in. And sometimes where a benefit may lie within one of those two areas is they may be able to bring more additional helps to your business beyond what a business line of credit may be able to offer. For example, an investor may be able to bring in connections. So they have other people that they may be able to connect you with to be able to help you in your business. They can also many times, because they have invested in so many business, to be able to bring practical advice to be able to help you. Of course, that's going to come usually at a little bit more of an additional cost, but it may be something that you may find beneficial. So if you're bringing somebody in to be kind of help you to work through this, they may be able to look at you and say, you know what, business line of credit may be great, but maybe you need to get in connection with a different type of a person, maybe get an investor in your business that can do more for you beyond just what your local bank can do. Third, looking at different scenarios in your business. And this is one area where we've seen a lot of just tremendous value. We've been able to bring tremendous value to clients. Just this last week, I think I mentioned in last week's podcast, but we were able to bring somebody in here and we had kind of built out a tool to be able to kind of to generate what-if scenarios. There's software out there that can help you with it as well. But if you make certain changes in your business, what happens to cash flow? What happens to your bottom line profit? And so you begin to be able to go through and work through what-if scenarios, going back and pulling historical data, looking at the future, what may happen, and then what sort of effect is that going to have in your business. But to be willing to sit down and run through those what-if scenarios. And if I make this particular type of a decision, what is the potential impact on my budget? How does it affect my revenue? What happens with my expenses? If I'm looking to go through and scaling my business, if I go through and I put my money in this particular area, what is this potential impact in other areas of my business and my business overall? I'm going through, should I refinance a property? Should I stay where I'm at? Should I sell the property? Okay, and you can run through these scenarios. If I go through different market opportunities, what's going to happen there, or scaling opportunities. So you can go through and run many different types of what-if scenarios depending on where you're at, where you're wanting to go in your business. But a valuable tool that a fractional CFO or a mentor may be able to bring in and help you in your stage of business. Number 4, how do you get customers? And it's a legitimate question for many business owners. Okay, how do I go and I find my customer? And sometimes, there's a lot of people out there. If you're on, LinkedIn, for example, I don't know how many requests, LinkedIn connection requests I get from people that, hey, I'll put you in contact with customers, or, we're going to do SEO for you, or this or that. And a lot of that is a complete total waste of energy and time. But really getting somebody in there that understands your business and is able to understand what do you need to do to go about getting customers. Are you a business like mine? Pretty much everything that comes to us is through referral, and we're very particular about who we bring in. But most everything that comes to us is by referral. And of course, there are a lot of things that we do to cultivate our existing client that get them to refer us to other people. But that is one way if you go about getting customers. How do I get my existing clients to refer business to us? Do I need to work within my network? Do I need to go through and try to get more from my existing clientele, from my existing customers? Should I be partnering with other businesses? What about my online presence? Do I need to invest money in my social media, in my website? Do I need to put some money into SEO so people can find me? Okay, content production and distribution. Is that another way of going about getting your name out there to get people to reach out to you, to reach your potential customer? And then maybe just working in your local community. And so what is the best way of you going about getting more customers? And another area that we see that businesses struggle, they just simply, they go through and they hear some ideas and they're just throwing darts, hoping that they hit their target. And sometimes they're doing it blindfolded. So getting somebody in there that can kind of help you maneuver through that particular process of, what is the best, where's the best, what are the best methods I can go about investing my money, investing my time to be able to get more customers. The last couple here, what does it cost to service customers? To understand once we onboard a customer, what is it going to cost to service that customer? Sometimes it becomes a matter of, okay, I know how much it's going to cost to get the customer in the door, but they end up not being able to cash flow well because they never took into consideration in their price points, what is it going to cost to service that customer and service that customer well? And then what are my operational and fixed costs? This is pretty foundational. But for you to be able to make good decisions in your business, you need to understand what are your operational costs, what are your fixed costs in your business, and what levers do I need to pull to be able to make sure that my business is not just going to sustain in the short term or in the midterm, but if I'm looking to scale the business, then I'll be able to do so in the long term. So just the last of a three-part series on areas that a CFO would come in and look at in your business. Of course, there's probably many others, but areas that as I've seen in businesses that we've worked with. So for today, where to invest cash to increase revenue. What is the pathway to obtain more money to invest in growth, and how much may I need? Doing that break-even analysis many times to determine what is needed. Thirdly, running what-if scenarios in your business. Fourth, knowing how to go about in getting customers, knowing what it costs to get customers. And lastly, understanding your operational and fixed cost in your business. Hopefully this particular podcast brought you value. If you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe to the Belk on Business podcast. Once again, this is Josh Belk. Have a wonderful day.